So I just drafted this fantasy team. It is a 78 overall, and on the surface, it might not look like much, but if you take a look deeper, it's maybe one of the best teams I've ever built, and is definitely in play to win a Super Bowl in year one. It might win a Super Bowl in year two, and it might win every year after that because I followed some principles that you should follow too. Whenever I build a team, the most important things I think about are number one, can I get players who are going to get better over the course of the dynasty, over the rebuild, however long you're playing, right? If you are playing 5+ years, you need young players who will continue to get better and earn abilities. And that's why I think Drake May, we took in the 3rd round of the fantasy draft, is one of the best picks we could have made. 94 throw power, 89 speed. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the game despite his low overall. And if we can earn superstar and X Factor development, which if you're a good player is very feasible to do, he is going to be an absolute monster moving forward. And at a young age, you're going to hear this a lot from me, he is going to become a beast on this team. So as we take a look at the things that matter, right? I don't care as much about overall. I am drafting guys who are young, who have abilities or can earn abilities, or who have a trait that no one else has that I feel good about for their position. For example, if you take a look at our front guys for offense here, every single one of them, 81 is our highest overall offensive lineman, but I would back this offensive line against any non-ability offensive line in the game because they are all incredibly strong. And strength is the number one determinant, in my opinion, on what makes an offensive lineman good and how strong they're going to be versus any defensive line they face. If you take a look at all of these guys, they're all, except for Posich, under 25 years old, and they have 93 or better strength. Every single one of them is going to play fantastically for your team. And, to be honest, I would back them against any other offensive line in the league. You take a look at the tight ends. They're low overall, 70, 62 overall. Musgrave has 89 speed. He's going to get open. He's 6'6", 253. He's a monster. He will develop. We will get him the rock. He will probably have 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. Devin Culp, 90 speed, only 62 overall. He's a little bit tougher because even if we were to not use Musgrave, he were to get a development trait, he would never earn good abilities. But I'm perfectly happy throwing him in there for a couple plays a game. I'm going to notice no drop off in my offense between him at a 62 overall or Musgrave at a 70. We take a look at these receivers. We've got Brian Thomas Jr., we've got Quez Watkins, Mecole Hardman, and maybe one of my favorite players in this entire game, Troy Franklin. You have guys who are going to continue to improve and continue to get better and probably dominate from week one. Brian Thomas Jr., 82 overall as a rookie. Obviously, this is a fantasy draft. 6'3", 96 speed, 95 acceleration. Fantastic route running for a rookie. Fantastic change of direction, high jumping. He is an absolute dog. I believe we took him in the 5th or 6th round. He should not have been there in an online draft. He definitely will go earlier, but we were able to capitalize with this offline version here. The team's overall, right, it's not fantastic, but every single one of these players, Devon Achane, Ty Chandler, even Malik Willis, right? If Drake May were to go down, I would feel confident in rolling Malik Willis out there. He's young, 93 throw power, 90 speed, right? We will figure everything else out. I will use my Madden skills and I will figure it out. This team, I would put against anything. That's just the offense. Let's take a look at the defense. Now, obviously, Jordan Davis is going to go and replace one of these 70 overalls. But if you take a look, again, same idea. So a lot of normal development, a lot of young players, a lot of low overalls. But let's look deeper, right? We have Quinnen Williams and Micah Parsons combined with Nolan Smith and either Miles Murphy or whoever else you want to put on the defensive line. That's a scary prospect to face. You have at least one inside stuff, probably an outside stuff to go against the run from day one. You have Nolan Smith, who is one of the best users in the entire game, combined with Diablo, Tyson Anderson, Kenneth Murray, Demarion Overshawn, Damone Clark, Devin Bush. The slowest guy there is 89 speed or 88 speed. They will all be all over anyone trying to run the ball, and I will feel confident using any one of them at any given time. And if they get tired, it's a next man up mentality. Every single one of them can play. I'm confident in putting them out there. We're stopping the run with, We'll put an outside stuff on Parsons. We'll put an inside stuff on Williams. We'll use her the other side. We'll feel really good. On the secondary, we don't have many abilities, which I think is the only flaw of this game or this team. However, we have Nate Wiggins, lockdown man corner, rookie, 79 overall, 6'2", 96 speed. No complaints, no notes. He is a perfect prospect. We feel incredibly good about having him. Same thing with Terrion Arnold, a little bit slower, 91 speed, star development. We feel great. We've also got Keely Ringo from the Eagles. He is 94 speed, tall. We've got Emmanuel Forbes, 71 overall. Not great. Not great if you first look. He's 6 foot, 23 years old, 94 speed, 95 excel. We'll figure out the coverage later. If we ever need to put in a slot man corner, no problem putting him in. At safety, we got Nick Cross, Jeremy Chin, Lewis Seen, JT Woods. 4 of the best budget in terms of a draft safeties you can have. I would be confident putting any one of them in. Any one of them. Because they are fast, they have high hit power, and they can get to the ball. And they're all, a lot of them are big. Jeremy Chin, 6'3", 220, 92 speed, 92 excel, 86 hit power. That's very, very hard to replace. This team is absolutely going places. And what's funny is, like, let's take a look. And let's take a look at this, right? We are a 78 overall team versus this Panthers team we're going to play in the preseason. Let's take a look at their roster and see how good or bad it is, right? I'm going to assume they have got some high overall players, but their team's not going to be as strong. And why is that? They have Justin Herbert, fantastic quarterback, right? 86 speed, 96 throw power. He's still young, still really, really good superstar development, and Saquon Barkley. That's a very strong start as a user, but let's take a look and see where it might be weak. Garrett Wilson, oh my God. Okay, this team is actually pretty nasty, right? They did a fantastic job loading up on offense. They have superstar quarterback, X-factor running back, receiver with abilities paired with a receiver who's very, very fast. Oh my God. They got Brock Bowers. This Panthers team is dirty. Okay, here's where it gets weak. The offensive line. Garrett Bowles might be an 89 overall. He's 32 years old. He will only be on the team for 3, maybe 4 years, and he's not that good. Only has 87 strength, and in my opinion, that's not good enough. John Runyon, 75, 87 speed. Jarrett Patterson, 84 strength. Kevin Zeitler's good, 34. Only going to be there for 1 year. You have to draft a replacement. Anton Harrison. This offensive line absolutely stinks. So even though you have all the playmakers, you're going to have no time. You're going to have absolutely no time. My defensive pass rush will be all over them. Take a look. Left end, terrible. Right end, absolutely terrible. Defensive tackle, absolutely terrible. Preston Smith, unacceptable. CJ Mosley, superstar, decent, for a year, maybe 2. Juwan Bentley, terrible. Britt, terrible. Evans, terrible. Judon, superstar, good, 1 year option. Corners, nothing to write home about. They got Daryl Baker's maybe the only one that's interesting. Like, none of these guys are anything special. Justin Simmons, superstar, decent player. I would never roster. He's only 87 speed. Even if he has the abilities, he's not someone I really care about. And Justin Reed, right? Justin Reed's fine. He's a good player. I'm not scared of him, right? I'm scared of every single player on my roster. And even though they were high overall, I would take not every player. Like, I would rather have Xavier Worthy. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson and Saquon and Herbert. But I would have had to compromise at every other spot, right? Because if you take a look at the positions and think in your head where these guys probably went, and say hello to my Chipotle fork, right? Like Drake May, we took in the 3rd round. Where's my Chipotle fork? Drake May, we took in the 3rd round. Justin Herbert was probably a top 7 pick. By taking Micah Parsons in the 1st round, we are now feeling really good about the positional value we got, because he doesn't have a Micah Parsons, and we have Drake May, and I think, based on my ability to play Madden, that I can get similar results to what he's going to get from Herbert for my 3rd round Drake May. And that's, keep that in your head, right? Like, he probably took Justin Reed or someone like that pretty high, like a CJ Mosley or someone. I would much rather have my Jeremy Chin in like the 8th or the 10th round. My Divine Diablo in the 26th round is probably going to outperform his CJ Mosley in the 8th or the 10th, right? Quinnen Williams, I think in the 2nd round. He doesn't have a single player on his defensive line that's going to be able to do a thing on what Quinnen Williams does. So I think we just did a fantastic job here. If you have questions or comments, please let me know. It so helps me to bring more content to you guys. This one's like, I feel really good. If you want to see me play with this team, think like, let's get 100 likes on this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.